Howdy neighbors, welcome to the homestead today, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Cattle Talk. And if you're new to our channel, my goal is every Thursday here at Cedar Creek Homestead on YouTube to have a video just about cattle, talk about cattle, show some things going on, maybe go into the cattle sales, whatever. And I did do this for a while. At 7 o'clock Central Time on Thursdays, I was uploading a video, and I kind of quit for a while just because we got so busy that I just couldn't get everything done. So some have emailed me and messaged me that they would like to see more stuff about cattle, and a lot of the homesteaders are into cattle ranching. Now this is probably a little niche, small niche thing that won't be, a lot of people watch my porch talk video each Tuesdays, and I talk about homesteading and prepping and stuff, but this may not be something that appeals to a lot of people. So if you're not into cattle, I would change the channel. But if you're into cattle, interested in cattle, you don't even have to be a cattle rancher. I used to, for a while, got away from cattle, and I'll share that story sometime, but wasn't around cattle, and what I would do, but I missed them. So if I'd had YouTube back then, I would have watched YouTube videos and observed the cattle. Sometimes you dream about one day raising cattle. Some of you are raising cattle, and you want some information, and this is one way to learn. I have been around cattle my whole life, over 50 years. As far as sure enough raising them now, back in the swing of things, about 15 years I guess going on now roughly that I've been back full in. I still work out, but what I mean to have a cattle business, we have try to keep around 100 mama cows. That fluctuates on and off. This year I'm selling some of the old cows. These two right here are older cows. We've got one, I think there's 6 cows in here that are older, actually 5 older ones, and one that would make a great beef for somebody. But right now all of our processing facilities around here are booked up, and but I have thought about advertising this one down here on Craigslist, this one heifer. She's never calved, and she's what I believe is what to call a free martin. So but she's fat, and what I'm doing right now, I weaned my fall calves, or spring calves. I've weaned them now in the fall, and I have also kept these mamas back that some of them didn't calf, or some of them's getting old. If they're not fattened up by now, they're not going to make it unless you feed them a lot of grain. And I don't want to have to grain feed these all winter, but they're putting on a little weight and looking better, and I'm going to take them to the sale. They'll probably be ground into hamburger meat. I get attached to my cows. I don't know if you're a cattle farmer. I hear so many say, do not get attached to your cattle and don't name them. I have one down here, a white cow you can't see on camera here, but her name is Helen, and I named her after one of my aunts. Her name was Helen, and just this cow in her face, the way she looked, reminded me of my aunt. In fact, this cow's mama was the first Helen I had, and then we sold her because she got old, so this is her offspring. And then I've even got a heifer out of her that I'm keeping this year that I think I'm going to call her Helen too. She's white, Charolais looking heifer, just like her mama, and this other one's like her mama. So I was like, hey. But anyway, we just ranch here, and I feed them every morning here right now, wanting to get my young steers. And some of these heifers here I'm going to keep, but the steers will sell here pretty quick like. But I want to get them accustomed to eating grain like this, because they'll probably, most of them will go into a feedlot. I also want to make sure none of them sick. They've all been wormed and vaccinated, stuff like that, and they're ready to go. But I'll be keeping, like I say, the heifers myself, and we usually supplement the heifers with grain all through the winter months to keep them growing and looking really good. And so the cows, we supplement them also with grain. But if they're poor, this is the little heifer I was telling you about, that she's 2+ years. She should have calved by now, and I've never even known her to breed yet. Never had her wrote down, and we call her Rachel. she doesn't have a number. She's the only one I've got with a blank tag. So anyway, she is fat and sassy, has really done good, and she'd make somebody excellent beef, but she won't make a mama cow, so she's going to go. And but I'm still letting her lead a little grain, and may advertise her, like I say, on Craigslist and see someone might want her for a beef. Maybe they could get her in. If I could get her into my processor, I would just take her and butcher her. But anyway, we just kind of starting a little forum here, a chit-chat type deal of raising cattle. So if you like to watch about farming and ranching, this will be an excellent thing to do, is tune in every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. And I'll try to have a video up about just cattle ranching. And I don't know what all, I got a video I'm working on now of taking some to the sale, and we'll probably next Thursday we'll have a cattle sale video, and I'm working on. So each week we'll have something, and in the comments I'd like to have comments from folks that kind of what's going on in your area. And for this week's video, one of the comments I'd like for people to comment is what you think about this CFAP. It's the Corona Financial Assistance Program, and for ranchers. Farmers can take benefit of it. They've already given one payment, and now they're into round two. And if you have, from my understanding, not your breeding stock, but if you have calves that you're keeping back, I believe it's $55 an animal that they will pay you. And I've heard some say they're taking advantage of the situation, and others saying they don't want to get the government involved in their farm. So let me know what you think about it. Do you think it's something? Now, I'll just kind of give you a little bit of my opinion. What I'm thinking about it is if I could get 55 for, I think it's the August 31st thing, the young stuff that you had other than your breeding stock as of August 31st. So let's say you had 50 animals at $55 a piece, and whatever that comes out, $2,500, $2,700, whatever the amount would be. I can't figure that without a calculator, but I'm probably pretty close there. But let's just say you got that. That's pretty good bonus to your farm. Most farmers that I know could use that money for something. Most have told me that even though the price is down some, that they don't feel they have really suffered a lot, and others have said that they've lost big time. So we don't seem to really make a profit here the past several years, because we take our money and invest, just like these concrete troughs I bought year before last. Just different things. We'll take any profit that we have and we use it, but it makes it look like we didn't make a profit, but it's because we're building our infrastructure. But anyway, if I had the extra $2,500, I would use it here on the farm to better our cattle situation. I wouldn't go take a trip on it or nothing like that. But also, I'm not sure if you have to pay taxes on that. So if you don't spend it on your farm, you might end up with a big high tax bill in the future. So something to think about. But anyway, one of my thoughts was about this. We had all these people drawing an extra $700 a week unemployment, and some really needed it. But around here, there's several people that purposely quit working when they could go work, and purposely didn't because they was drawing extra $700 a week unemployment. I know that's played out now, and it's my understanding you can still draw $400 a week. But I was at the grocery store, and a lady come in, and they said, "Why aren't you working today?" "I'm not working, and I'm not going to work. I'm drawing more money than I've ever drawn in my life." And I'll just be honest with you. To me, she seemed like one of those loser types, and so she was drawing this extra $700 a week, she said, plus her regular unemployment here from the state of Oklahoma. So she might have been drawing $900, $1,000 a week. I don't know what she had done for a living, but she was really mouthing about it. And I thought, you know, if you can go to work, you ought to be working. If you can't, then unemployment is nice to have. But I've had several people tell me that they're drawing the unemployment and don't have no intentions of going back to work until it all plays out. So I'm thinking, you know, I've been busting my tail working all through this pandemic. I've worked. Never took a day off because of the pandemic. We did miss church some because our church closed. We stayed home. on Sundays. Now, I don't work Sundays. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm a Christian, and I just take Sundays off. My grandpa, he never claimed to be all that religious or nothing, but he took Sundays off. He'd work hard 6 days a week, and on Sundays he took that day off, and he sat around his place and rested, and in the afternoon most of the time he'd take him a little nap, and they just enjoyed life and took a day off. And that was kind of a American tradition for many, many years, and I kind of follow that, and I don't mind it a bit. But otherwise, I work 6 days a week. And even on Sundays, on my day off, I still have to check my cows. I still have to follow through with things. So sometimes I'm thinking, might as well get that money. But then I think about this, and this is something you may comment on, is where do they get that money at? Well, the ones that's going to pay for that money, we're going to end up paying it back. And you and I, the ones that's working, are the ones that's having to foot the bill. They tax us, and they're going to use those taxes to pay off this somehow this debt that they have. They print more money and they put us deeper and deeper in the hole, and we're never going to get out of it. And sometimes I think, well, maybe a person ought to just take the money and go. But then sometimes morally I wonder if that's the right attitude to have. But I'd like to hear from you what you think about it. And that's kind of today's subject on Porch Talk, is the CFAP money, CFAP I think is what they call it. And let me know if you've drawn money before. My dad one year drew some money when we had drought, and the money really come in really handy. The problem was they didn't get the money till the next year, a year after the drought. So he'd already survived and managed through all of it. Then he gets the money. So I don't know. But let me know what you think about it all. And I sure appreciate you watching today. May God richly bless you. And we'll see you next time here at another episode of Porch Talk on Thursday nights. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. After you subscribe, a little bell will pop up. If you'll click on that, up in your notification feed on your YouTube, when you log into YouTube, there's a little notification bell. If you click on that, it'll update you and let you know when we're uploading videos every Thursday and remind you, and you'll be set. But if you'll set your clock or your calendar for 7 o'clock on Thursday nights, tune in here and watch what we got going on around here concerning cattle. And we're gone.